Excellent. All righty. Well, welcome everybody. Really a pleasure to have you here and really good to meet some of you and see some of you again. Today we're launching something transformational. When we do something translational, we translate one situation into kind of another, and we try to, maybe add a few accessories here or cut off a few accessories there. And we can end up really having the same thing, but only more bulky and more hard to use. Hello, Mark. So we're going to do something a little different today. We're looking for some transformation. When we transform, we move to another level, another place, and we get some new thinking and sometimes some new skills with the new thinking, and it makes life a whole lot easier. And so stronger clubs are going to start with how we begin. And really, that's what this Distinguished Pathways Club Culture Toolkit is to do, to help new Toastmasters get a stronger beginning, even as we get a stronger beginning in our leadership of Toastmasters to a greater experience in personal growth and professional growth in speaking and leadership. Let me start with a tale of two Toastmasters. Imagine two Toastmasters. One is greeted with enthusiasm. They're given a clear path. They deliver the icebreaker in the first month. And the other, well, they join. They're not quite sure what to do next. Everybody's giving speeches of some kind. They feel intimidated. They're not sure what to talk about. And so they listen, and then they slowly fade into the background. We've seen both. One of them stays and grows, and the other, well, maybe not. And that's what this pilot is all about, making the first experience for a new Toastmaster so strong that members want to keep showing up, while making existing members reconnect with the resources of Pathways and the resources of Toastmasters so that they become re-energized. The situation one is empowering and the other one is disempowering. They're unsure. They may come in and they may be greeted nicely. They may be having a lot of fun, but they're really not sure what to do or how to connect. And so they do what's in the culture of that club. If that culture of that club is pathways and everybody's working on some projects and everybody's having fun and everybody's supportive, they want to get right into that and they want to do that too. If they come in and everybody's friendly and having fun, but they're all doing different speeches and maybe no speeches from time to time, that's what they think Toastmasters is about, and so they fit into that. So the difference is the environment that they enter. Who am I and why this matters? Well, if we haven't met, and now we've all met, haven't we? But I'm Jim Zboran. I'm the incoming Division A director, and I'm also a transformational leadership and empowerment coach. And all that really means is that I care deeply about the growth process, and I'm wired to make it simple, clear, and effective. Ozark Orders is my home club, and that's really, for the last year, has been the test bed for a lot of what we'll talk about tonight. Why it matters to us all. That's because it matters to us because Pathways is more than a requirement. It's a roadmap to distinguished. And what does distinguished mean? Well, distinguished is equal to club health, in my opinion, and what I've come to understand it as. And it's not because a club has checked off some tick marks on a box on a checklist that they need to do. It's not they've earned points even to get up to 5 or 7 or 10 points or whatever they get. But really, it's about building a healthy club, because when there's more enthusiasm and there's more new members coming in, even at like a member a month or every couple of months or every quarter, just a little bit of new energy coming in, and that new energy getting connected to the Pathways project so that they can have a structure in which they can grow. There's a really healthy environment there. And if they don't know about Pathways, they won't get into that resource. And if there's not really much energy going on, new visitors aren't as likely to become new members. So distinguished club is really to help a club be healthy, and it actually gamifies it. So it's fun. A lot of people don't really see it that way, but it's actually fun because they've gamified it. And what is the point of the game? Healthy clubs. And why a healthy club? Because club health is equal to personal and professional growth. Okay, we're really not talking about compliance. We're talking about alignment, and alignment with pathways, which is an alignment with personal growth from a Toastmasters perspective. And I think it's an excellent opportunity for personal and professional growth. From aimless to aligned. In February of 2024, I joined Toastmasters. And the Toastmasters Club had been around for over 40 years. Really a great, awesome club. And when I walked in, I was actually the fifth member. And I wanted to figure out how to do some speeches and how to get credit for the speeches because people were doing speeches. But I wanted to figure out, well, how do I get credit and, for speeches because I heard that, I wanted to make sure that I was working towards something. But I asked people and they were very helpful, but Pathways has been changing a lot. And so they really weren't too sure themselves what to do. So they really are awesome people and they really did everything they had to help. But there was just too much information and they had not processed it all yet. And as a new member, I'm really good. I'm really good at processing a chaotic situation. So as a new member, I was fine. But for a lot of people, it would not be as fine. But one thing that we did have was that there was a solid structure for meetings. They had room for three speeches every meeting, and there weren't three speeches, but they had room on the board for three speeches every meeting. And every meeting, at least one person spoke. And those meetings they ended in an hour. And if they didn't end an hour, you could see the club president, was kind of looking a little antsy. So right off the bat, one of the great strengths of that club was that there was a solid structure for meetings. What it was lacking was that there weren't new people coming in. It was a lot of people had left because they were college students who had graduated, and that was a really difficult situation to navigate as well. And so they did their best and they had a great base to build on, but they really needed to connect the club to the community to get new members, and they needed to connect the resources of Toastmasters to the club members so that people can begin a structured growth path. And so a few months later it was time for elections, and I became the VP of Education and the VP of Membership, and I began slowly working a new culture, a new way of thinking. I started learning how to use the tools. My initial focus was that was for new members because the other members they were workhorses, these guys and gals. I mean, they were good, but they were somewhat burned out. They had been members, they'd carried the club. That club would not have even been there if they had not carried it. So they did a fantastic job. But what we really needed was some new members with new energy, but not just new members with new energy to overwhelm all of the existing structure, but people who can fit into a growth process, which is actually pathways. Because eventually, as we were getting new people in, I was trying to get into pathways myself, trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden in October, they changed it, which was fine because they actually made it better. But it took me yet another month or two to learn how to use that even more effectively. So it's been a process. It's been a process for Ozark Orders. It's been a process for me. And been a process, frankly, for all Toastmasters because we've had pandemics. We've had shifts to hybrid clubs more because of that. We've had shifts to, the Pathways Online and then the Pathways Updated. So we're all in an environment where it's constantly shifting. And that's okay because shifting is change, and change can mean growth when you tap into what's growth about it. So where are we now? Well, we tomorrow night we will hit Select Distinguished, and in 2 weeks we'll be at President's Distinguished. We started out we had to get 8 members. By the end of last year. So I invited my son, who's going to join anyway, but he had some other commitments, but he joined it quicker than he would have. And we lucked out with 2 college students. We got up to 8, so we were not kicked out of Toastmasters. But from 8, we booked 16 people this year. Now, we've lost a couple, but we have 14 solid. One is a renewal, and I expect that he probably will renew. And we have a visitor coming, so I think we'll probably get at least one or two more. So we've really done a fantastic job. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that heart. We've done a fantastic job, but here's the trick. We did the job. I just did a few things and started getting people's thinking shifted a little bit to what really matters and off of what doesn't matter. And then I gave them a few tools that allowed them to get a lot of results from just a little bit of exertion. So we did it. They all did it too. I would not have done it without them. But there was some leadership needed, and I brought that to the table. And that's what you bring to the table as leaders. And here's something really great about that. Presidents Distinguished, it wasn't hard to do. Moving to 16 members, it was not hard to do. None of it was hard to do. We just worked consistently throughout the year with some things that mattered. And most people didn't understand what or why I was doing things, and it didn't matter because I was the VP of Education and Membership, so I just moved them forward. And that's what we're going to talk about in this series, the Distinguished Pathways Club Culture Toolkit series. We're going to learn some really simple tools and some simple things. Let me not get ahead of myself here. Small hinges move big doors, and this is the philosophy I'm working on here. When you get this massive door and you push it easily, it's because there's some very small hinges on it that are doing the heavy work. And that's what these tools are meant to be. They're small hinges. They're nothing amazing. This is like a toolkit with a hammer and pliers and maybe a screwdriver and maybe some kind of a wrench in there. Okay, these are simple, ordinary tools, but they're workhorse tools and they're easy to understand and they're easy to apply. And that's why they're going to work. We're not looking at huge, complicated, fancy tools and systems. We already have so many of those and they're great. There's nothing wrong with those, but it's hard to figure out what to focus on for new members and for leaders to help the new members focus on what they need to focus on to begin with so that they can transition to all this Toastmaster goodness that is out there. So the tools are simple by design. You will not be impressed by the tool itself, but I think you'll be impressed with what it can do and how to use it. And the key here is that culture, we're really talking about culture change, and we're moving away from a culture where pathways is hard and oh, the old days used to be so much better and I like the books and it's so hard to get members. That may all be true, okay, but there's another truth too, and there's the truth going forward, and people need to be led forward. They need to get the vision of the leaders, and they need to have the leaders show them a few simple things they can do, and they will go because they want to go there. So culture changes through consistency, not complexity. And what this Pathways Initiative pilot is all about. The 6-week pilot series is a coaching experience it's a group coaching experience that introduces 5 simple tools. It's for anyone in a club who wants to create a Pathways from Day One culture. Pathways from Day One means when somebody walks in, it's like, oh, this is what we do. This is what Toastmasters do. It doesn't mean they're signed up necessarily, although they'll quickly want to be because everybody else is and everybody else is doing it. And they paid a $20 new member fee that bought them a pathway. They're going to want it. They're going to want to use it. This time around in Toastmasters is not my first time in Toastmasters. About 30 years ago in Chicago, I was a stockbroker, and I joined Toastmasters to learn how to communicate better. And it was a great experience. I went in and, I joined and I went in, I did an impromptu speech and, so it was a table topic. I didn't remember the name of it, but it was a table topic and it was fun and everybody else was doing it. It was fun. And people were doing some speeches and they had these books that they're working from. And they would say what book it was and what project it was. And so I knew right away, okay, well, these guys are working on some things and they're having fun and this is fun and I could participate. And then I joined and then they gave me a book. It was really booklets. They gave me a booklet and it's like, okay. And then I had something in my hand. I'm looking at it and everybody else around me is working on projects. And that's the culture of the club. And I just moved right into it. And I didn't know what was going on. I just did what I saw. And so that's what we're really looking for. we're looking for using these 5 tools to create a culture um, in the club. And it's for officers, for leaders in the clubs, but it's also for engaged members, future leaders, maybe past leaders who want to reconnect a little bit with leading without an official title. There are tools here that will be usable by anybody. And some of the tools will be more, well, 1 to 2 of the tools is more appropriate for club officers, especially president and VPE. But they can be supported by any member, and some of those tools can be used by any member, and you will be surprised. A couple of the tools will actually be used by new members within their first month because they see this is how everybody does it, and I'm a part of this group. I'm doing it too. They're learning by example. It's because it's a part of the culture, not something that they're told they have to do, and not something that is an extra task or chore. So, what are the tools? Well, that's what we're going to unfold. We're going to have 6 sessions for leaders. This is a orientation session for division directors and area directors. And you guys are the leaders to the club's leaders. And so I encourage you to invite those leaders into this group. I encourage you to come yourself. And we're going to be unfolding these tools, and it's a group coaching kind of a session, nothing formal, but I'm going to be doing plenty of Q&A in them and helping people to apply these tools. The tools, you'll know how to apply it right when I say, but sometimes there's some neat things to understand how to use them more effectively. And that's what I'm going to unfold each week over the next 6 weeks. So here's the 5 tools. The Start Here button. Okay, this is an easy path to the icebreaker. It is if we get a new member doing an icebreaker within the first 30 days, maybe 45 days, maybe 60 days. The 30 isn't that important, but if our thinking is let's get them going the first 30 days on the icebreaker, they're already moving into, hey, this is what Toastmasters does. We work on project speeches, but we get to express ourselves within the framework of a project. And this is a wonderful first project. So the Start Here button is going to be one that your new members are going to be sharing with newer members because they'll have heard it from everybody else. And they will then know, well, when there's a new member and they want to be helpful, it's like, here, go here. And it's like an easy button to get started. Then there's the quick start checklist. Okay, and this is a 6-point checklist to fast track a new member into club life. It's a handout. It's a 1-page printed. It's not online. It's not anywhere hard to find. They're handed a piece of paper, and it could be in without whatever. You could take this checklist, and if you like the concept, you can use it, and you can make it whatever you want, or you can just copy the one that I'll provide. Make it your own. All I'm doing is giving frameworks and some tips, and you guys are the ones who will make it work in your own clubs. But the Quick Start Checklist is a way to really help people to get right in. And I'm not gonna I get really excited about these. I'm not gonna talk too much about them. You're gonna love them. The culture framework, this is a driver here, and it's so simple. It's what I did at Ozark Orders from really day one because I understand how this works. But it's so easy to do that anybody who hears about it within a club, any leader, is going to be able to implement it so easily. And it really makes PDO, what I call PDO, is pathways from day one, a pathways from day one culture. Not that they have to be formally signed up, but they become aware of pathways, and then when it's time to sign them up, they understand what's going on and it's something they want to do. Then there's the A student strategy. Smart effort is going to lead you to distinguished. That's what led Ozark Orders to distinguished. Really, presidents distinguished in a few weeks. So what is this A student strategy? You're going to love it. It's so simple. And I coached three kids, basically kids, they were young adults, 3 kids uh, through their high school equivalency, then through 4 years of college, and they got straight A's, and they all graduated with their bachelor's degree summa cum laude. Because of this one simple strategy that I learned because I was a student for like 10 years. And I did not know the strategy the first number of years. You really want to know the strategy. It's a game changer if you are not already doing some of it intuitively. And then there's the progress coaching tool. Okay, this is going to keep members moving forward. It's on a dashboard you already have access to. It's just likely you don't really use it in this way that I'm going to show you. Just a little quick tweak makes this a powerful tool to really connect with your members and really get them engaged in the process, and helps to really solidify that PDO, pathways from day one culture. What is the heart of the PDO culture? Well, we're not pushing pathways. That's a whole key. Don't push pathways. What we want to do is we want to normalize pathways. We're modeling it. And when new members see leaders using it, when they see results tied in that they want to use it too. Let's use awareness, not pressure. There's one fella, he's a lawyer. He joined about a year ago in our group, a sharp guy, really nice guy, sharp guy. But he's a contrarian. So whenever you ask if he wants to do something a certain way, it's no, I don't do it that way. And so right off the bat, I never asked him to join Pathways ever. And I never encouraged him to join Pathways. But a few weeks back, I was finishing up a level with my inspiration speech and or motivation speech, and it was on pathways and how great it is for your personal and growth and your professional growth. And he commented during, I did a round robin feedback evaluation, and during his term, he says, every time you talk about pathways, I feel like you're talking to me. And no, I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to the group, because this is what Toastmasters do, and this is what Ozark orders are all about. Nobody has to do it. We're not here to tell people do things. We're not here to be their mom or dad to make them do things. This is great stuff. This is good for them. If they want it, that's here for them. If they don't, okay, make Toastmasters what you want it to be, but you can't make Toastmasters what you want it to be for everybody, because Toastmasters makes Toastmasters what they want it to be for everybody. And Toastmasters has an awesome program. As a transformational leadership and empowerment coach, nobody gets away from me for group coaching for less than $150 a month. And that's not my private coaching. You don't want to know what I charge for private coaching. And here with Toastmasters, every Toastmaster is getting group coaching, weekly group coaching for $10 a month. And it's good coaching. Now, when people join my coaching, they're getting direct and fast for where they're at now. But the beauty is most people don't have time for that. But Toastmasters does it consistently over time. And so they're getting group coaching that works exactly for where they are with what they have to work with. And it's like $10 a month. So this is one of the things I love about Toastmasters. For me, Toastmasters is a way to give back. And I don't know what your leadership path is and why you're doing leadership, but for me, I love leading in Toastmasters because I'm giving back. It took me decades to learn skill sets and knowledge sets and learn how to do it. I stumbled all over myself as a leader from my early 20s, and it took me a long time. I wish that I had a good coaching program. And I left Toastmasters 30 years ago after a year because I moved and I didn't get back into it. But I wish I'd understood exactly what I could have got out of it if I really applied myself better. But now as a leader, I can help people see that. And so you can too. But we're talking about awareness, not pressure. And one leader can shift a whole club. It doesn't take many, and these tools are not hard. You don't have to actually do anything extra. Maybe just think about some things a little different, and then do a couple things maybe a little bit different, and just do it consistently, and it gets the ball rolling. But one leader can shift the whole club. So what to do next? Well, invite leaders and members to attend. This is a pilot program. I'm going to be doing this in Division A. This is why I developed it for my own use in Division A next year as a Division A director. But I opened it up to the entire district. This is, I'm happy for anybody to use it however they want. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to invite club leaders and members to attend. Always, it's extra leadership, hands-on coaching in not a heavy commitment environment, and people can plug in and out however they want and get what they want out of it. But it's the structure is there for them to do that. So invite club leaders and members to attend. I sure am. Attend yourself. Absolutely. When we work when you attend firsthand, you learn how the tools work, you learn the little nuances, and you can help then your leaders to do them better. Uh, 35 years ago, I was in martial arts and I was in the dojo, and I was learning a wrist lock technique. And it's like the teacher does it, and it's like the wrist is locked, nobody's moving anywhere. And he demonstrated it, told how to do it. I said, okay, I can do this. And so my sparring partner, I did it, and nope, didn't lock. And no matter how I tried, didn't lock, didn't lock, didn't lock. And then as we're trying and stumbling through it, the teacher came by and said, here, make sure this point is over here. And then I did that and it locked. And there was the little detail that made the difference between success and failure with a tool. And when you intend yourself, you'll gain an understanding how to use the tools, and then you can help your leaders to do better with that. So it's a great coaching tool for you to use with your own leaders. Here's the recommendation. Choose one tool to start with. Yeah, I know there's 5. Don't use all 5. Choose one and get good with that one. Choose the one that seems like it resonates most with you. The one that says, hey, I'm really excited about this. Or, hey, this could work. Or, hey, I don't have to do much to do that. Just start with one and start building it in. Even better is if you got a leader or two, get each one of them to choose the one that they think they can do the best at, and then each of you apply the different tool within the culture of the club, and then compare notes and see what's working. You'll boost your efforts that way. But only don't make this difficult. Just choose one that will fit in easily into your workflow already, and just start to meld it into what you're doing. Let other people pick up and start mimicking you, because that's what the leaders are doing. So final thoughts. We're not just running a program, we're resetting momentum. The pandemic, from what I understand, really knocked clubs off their game, and there was a lot of shifts. But in that, the shift is there's a lot more opportunities online, and there's a lot that we can embrace. When I went to the different district conference this year, I heard a lot of people talking about their hybrid programs, and it seems like it's really a great uh, uh, area of growth for Toastmasters. It's the culture, it's not compliance. And we're really resetting momentum to a new system of pathways. It's online, and then it's been updated. A lot of people are used to the books. A lot of people don't really know how to use the pathways because it's an excellent tool, but there's a lot of moving parts. Now, it's easy to learn if you just look at a few moving parts to begin with, and then learn as you go. And I've got a whole seminar that I do on that. It's an hour-long seminar. I've done it for the district before, and if anybody wants me to do it for your group or your club, let me know. I'm talking to a club now about doing that, and I'm very open to doing that. But this is about making distinguished easier, clubs healthier, and members more empowered. It's really about support, not supervision. And it's awareness, not more announcements. And it's awareness not because people are hearing yet another announcement, but they're seeing it in action from you, from the club leaders, from other people in the club, and they're aware of it because it's just a part of the culture. So let's shift how we start, and we can then transform what follows. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A here. Any thoughts, any questions, anything I can help you with? Yes, Terry, please.
This is fantastic, and I think this should be something that everybody from area director up, or actually VPE and up,
Yes,
should be
absolutely.
cooperating in. But I have a very specific question about how to do something, so maybe I'll take it offline with you. I
It's
cannot
entirely
figure
up to
out how
you.
to purchase a second pathways
Oh,
anywhere
okay.
in
I can
there. So
I'll hop on and show you exactly how to do it. It's once somebody shows, it's so easy, but yeah, it's complicated to begin.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Terry, and I agree with you. This is a pilot program. We're just kind of testing out. We're getting feedback. I am definitely doing it for District A, and I'm doing it with District A area directors. For me, in the leadership in District A, it's about service, but it's not entirely about service. It's about mentoring for leadership. So it's a real leadership opportunity. And this is a tool that I've designed to do that. But I'm rolling it out district wide with, in conjunction with Patty. Patty's really the mover for getting this district wide, and we'll see where it goes next in 6 weeks. When we roll into a new year. But this could be a nice program for everybody. But even if it doesn't go district wide, anybody is welcome to connect with me, and I will be happy to weave them into the coaching that I do with it a little bit. Thank you, Terry. And Elaine, yes. Hi, Elaine. How's Lamont doing?
Oh, he's doing well. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
And you
Say hi to
unmuted
him.
him. Okay, I will do so. Can I unvideo so you
You
can
can,
see
yes,
me?
you certainly can, Elaine. Please do.
Um, why isn't my it's
I'm not
it's not
sure.
doing it?
Let me check. I don't have anybody show
Oh,
up.
now it just
You got
okay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
There, I
Okay.
wanted to see I wanted to see your bright, happy face.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you for doing this. I think
You're
it's
welcome.
great. And I must have had some mental telepathy because I started kind of what you said with new members that we recently received. What I have a question about is
Mhm.
this is adding a component that it's already difficult for people to meet the regular
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
How do you suggest we're able to, because then people say, I don't have time, I can't do both.
That is such a huge on point question, Elaine. And I think that's one of those, joint lock where you have to get it in the right place, otherwise it will not work. That is one of those key questions. Thank you. Um, you will be amazed at how simple these are to do. And they are likely things that you're already probably doing in a way, but simpler. Everything is super simple. Do you have a cell phone with you, Elaine?
Yes.
If anybody else wants to do this, I'll give you an example of this, how simple the tool is. If you go to tmstarthere.com, TM like for Toastmasters, TM like Toastmaster,
TM.
TM
TM.
starthere.com, all one word.
Okay.
Okay, this is a preview of the easy start button, Toastmasters Start Here button.
Okay.
And if you go down that, okay, if you put a big red button like that, Toastmasters Start Here on your website, or the district has put in one of those buttons up on the district site, so you send them there. Every new member, it's like, okay, here, that easy start button walks hand by hand to doing the icebreaker speech. It doesn't get you in the weeds on pathways, but it will connect you to it. Or if it doesn't connect it to you because you're not in it already, it makes you aware of pathways, but it doesn't stop you from getting some momentum and helping you become aware of pathways. It doesn't replace pathways. Definitely doesn't do that. But it's something where somebody can just get on their phone and say, okay. And so here, it'll walk them through. It'll get them started on their first speech, their icebreaker. So all it does is the person has to say, here, go here, new Toastmaster start here. And or say, hey, go to tmstarthere.com, or put it on, write it on the board. I would write it on the board behind me, and because we have a big whiteboard. And so I get the marker and I write TM start here, and always point to it. And everybody that's new, when they hear a new member and they want to be helpful, and it's like, here's what I did. Go to the start here button and start following through. And you can see it's very simple. There's not a lot of places to go. It doesn't look corporate. And so there's not like a lot of distractions. It's just simple, boom, 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 boom. And then the club leaders, to the extent they can or want to, can support. Hey, did you go to that start here button? Hey, what can I help you with? Did you start thinking about your icebreaker? What have you thought about some things you can talk? See, so all you have to do is just take that simple little tool, point people to it, and then as you go, support it. And if
Mm-hmm.
people don't use it, that's great, no problem. But it doesn't see for now. Here's what happened to me. It's like they told me the right thing to do was Toastmaster start with an icebreaker speech. Well, okay, Cool. Well, what is that about? How do I get credit for it? And so I searched Google and I found a PDF that was from Toastmaster about how to do the icebreaker, and I did it. But I'm more motivated to accomplish things. I'm more proactive to move forward in my life. A lot of people aren't quite there until they catch a vision for something. I already had the vision. I just need to know how to do it. But some people, they don't even have the vision yet. So just by showing them how to easily move into it without a lot of debris, on board, don't overwhelm. More programs, more tools, more things to do is overwhelm. But a tool that says, okay, this is going to get you started. It's not everything by any means, but here's an easy way to just get started. Just do this. And it walks you through. And as you walk through, you hear about pathways, you get links to pathway, but it's not like overwhelming. And then people are building momentum and confidence and clarity without having everything all at once. It's kind of like you've got this 5-gallon bucket of resources that Toastmasters, all these beautiful resources. And so it's kind of like each tool is like a little cupful of water out of that bucket. And so you give them a cup, and then you give them a cup, and then you give them a cup. You say, and always say, hey, there's more the resources over there. If you want to go serve yourself, go ahead. But they don't know how yet to do that. So here's a cup. You look a little thirsty. Here's a cup. And then instead of taking that whole bucket when they walk in and dumping it on their head, hey, you thirsty? Right? So don't make it another tool. Begin using it, model it, and they're simple. And when people benefit from them and they see how simple, they're not even thinking about it as, hey, here's another thing to do. Does that make sense, Elaine?
It makes a lot of sense, and
Good.
I've
Okay.
already started with that experience. I think what I have to give myself time to see is that they're going to do that. We had 2 new members in the last couple of weeks, and I went through with each one to go through the level 1 icebreaker. How do I get to the path, and how
Nice.
does this work? And they were really enthused and excited. They said, "Oh, I was
Yes.
already thinking of my speech, but this really helps
Yes.
formulate it."
That is the
One
best
of
kind
them
of
has already said they can't make this meeting, and my fear is that they're going to have this gap. If you don't practice it, you start to forget it. So
yeah.
I'm
This is
thinking
this
of how do I
well
keep it
well
going?
this is
And as a
your
one person VPE,
yeah.
it can be time consuming because if you end up having 4 people that you have to bring along,
Yeah.
it can
Well,
be. I'm just
here's
looking for
the
ways to deal with that.
you are really that's what real leadership is all about, Elaine, and that's exactly the right thing to do. Here's now something like that easy button. The way it could help is you point everybody to it, and the ones who show interest are the ones who are going to actually do some work with it. And the ones who don't pick up, you can just keep simply saying, here, go here, go here, go here. But the ones who
Yeah.
pick up on it, you can then take them by hand, and they can use the structure of that little simple easy button, but you can help them. And then as people are seeing that process, because it's kind of written out on that easy button site, you could start helping them help others and get them in, and you build a culture of leadership within the group too. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
it's a tough job. You're doing a great job, Elaine, and awesome job. And so I want to get some good feedback with how these tools can not become an extra burden, but they can become powerful for you. So please keep me
Right.
updated.
Will
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Terry, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that at our club, we have started doing all of this during meetings. If we do the training during meetings for new members, we either ask them to stay after, or we do it as if there's a lot of new members, you just do it as a speech. You take the
Yes.
speech time and
Yes.
you do it as a speech. A, you get credit for doing a speech, and B, you're training on top of everything else.
Exactly.
Because I'm the same way. We all have busy lives. We all have things to do. And I've been every single position available. And VPE is the most strenuous position that there is in
Absolutely.
the club. It's
Yeah.
so strenuous. And I think to alleviate that burden and get other people trained to how to do this, having easy tools to
Yeah.
just say everybody should be able to train a new Toastmaster. It shouldn't
Ye-
just have to be the VPE every time. Yeah, the VPE is ultimately responsible for it, but there's nothing to stop somebody else who's, just there to say, hey, I'll help you walk you through that. And I think having that culture of teamwork in
Yes.
the club is super, super important so that everything isn't, I mean, the two days after I started Toastmasters a decade ago, I was put into a position as an officer, and I haven't stopped since then. And it it gets tiring, and it gets tiring for everybody involved if you're an officer for years and years and years. And I think no one else is going to step up to the plate until they feel comfortable in doing it
Yes.
themselves. And
Exactly.
to get them baby steps, trickles,
Yes.
the things you were talking about, getting these little trickles of little
Yeah.
things in there is super
Yeah.
helpful. And I appreciate this, Jim. I really do.
Oh, you're welcome,
It's
Terry.
super helpful.
I
I
appreciate
love
that.
that
Yeah,
page.
thank you. Awesome. It's bare bones, but it's not meant to distract anybody anywhere else. But yeah, thank you, Terry. Wonderful insights, and you really got the heart and spirit of what this really is about, which I think is really the heart and spirit of what Toastmasters is about. I think we tap into that. But the VPE is a driver for Distinguished Club, a driver, and if and Distinguished Club not to check off check mark boxes, but to provide an excellent experience for every Toastmaster. And but here's the transformational parts of this leadership. This is the transformation I was talking about. We're moving away from doing all the work as a VP ourselves. We're transforming to becoming leaders. We're leading every single member of the club, because within a club you've got self-leadership, you've got situational leadership, you've got small group leadership, and then you could even have scaled leadership. So self-leadership is managing the pathway, showing up, doing it, working through it. Situational leadership is, hey, there's opportunities to lead, by doing the timer job or being a Toastmaster for the meeting. And then there's small group leadership is where the VPE is leading the group in an officer position. Then scaled up is when you go to district leadership. And they're all opportunities. And we're really, when we're training the very newest Toastmaster to help them to lead from where they are in the capacity that they have, even situationally, we're helping them build as leaders in all four of those areas eventually, as far as they want to go. Right. So yeah, this is the transformational part, is we're transforming it away from carrying the bulk of the work ourselves and giving more direction to people, to helping to help them become leaders in one of those four areas, from themselves to even maybe district leadership someday. And then we really want to transform the people. They're coming in presumably to be, because they want to become better speakers and probably better leaders, even if just personally or professionally or both. And I really don't make a distinction between either of those, honestly. But they want to become better. They want personal growth. And when we so we're talking about they want transformation. And when we give them an experience where they can hook into pathways, where they can make a difference, they can make a difference in their own lives, they can make a difference in the club because they like giving back to the club, they can make the difference in other people who are coming in because they're leading them into all the great stuff in Toastmasters. We're talking about transformation. We're talking about transforming a culture where it's like, oh, this is terrible, oh, this is more work to do, and there's more announcements. Yeah, those are all true. That's anybody who's saying that, they're not lying. Okay. But there's another way to think about it. There's another way to do it. There's another way to use it. And as leaders, we're the ones who want to be able to lead everybody who's saying that to a new place. And not by directives, but by demonstrating, by modeling. And that's what we're really talking about here in the Distinguished Pathways Club Culture Toolkit series. I'm going to send out an email to everybody with a breakdown, a description for all 6 of the actual sessions. This is an orientation session, so this is session 0. You're at ground 0. Congratulations. But we're going to do 1 through 6. I'll send a description with registration links and also an invitation that I'm going to be using with VPs and club presidents in Division A. But I'll send you a copy. I'll put it as a docx, a Word document, so you can change it however you want, or just use it as is. This is your thing. I'm just putting out some kind of framework. I'm putting out some tools. You make them your own, because ultimately that's what's going to make it shine. So, but we'll get you started. So I'll send out an email with those things for you. Is there any other questions? Fantastic questions, but did I leave anything unsaid today that should have been said? Hi, Mark.
Hi there. I just wanted to say how valuable I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was well done. I think the main complaint that I hear from some of my Toastmaster friends, and not necessarily in our own club, but
Not
in
our
some of
club,
the
right?
other clubs,
Right.
where I've heard them say that the new pathways is more focused on leadership and not really on speaking. And I'm not sure that I would find that I don't know that I would find that in disagreement, although I think it really depends on how much you put into it. I mean, that's what
Yes.
my father said to me when I was little.
Yes. You hit it right, Mark, and you got the right thinking on it. And there's it's for a lot of Toastmasters in other clubs and it's not so much that they're wrong, it's just that there's a better way to think about it that would be less stressful and more productive. Maybe the pathways are more leadership, but I agree with you. It's what you put into it. And if somebody says that to me, what I might say is, yeah, there is a leadership focus because a lot of people do want to move into leadership, but it might just be self-leadership. But really, you can get out of that pathway whatever you want. So if it's not so much leadership focus, do the projects, but focus where you want to focus and, leave the leadership aside.
Sure,
Something
sure,
like that, help them think about it different.
sure.
Good, great insight, Mark. Did I answer your question or
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
I think so.
Awesome.
I really like the easy button. I like that a
Thank
whole
you.
lot.
Thank you.
So
You're going to love my other tools too. They're all just as easy, and they're all customizable. I mean, you can reproduce the pages or if, on the easy button if you want to do something different, but it's easier just to use the easy button that I made.
I
But all
understand.
the other ones are all customizable. You make it your own, Mark, because really, I'm bringing myself to this presentation. You're going to bring yourself to the leading you do, and that's what's going to make it powerful because it will be authentic to you if it's authentic to you. So make it your own. Absolutely. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Any other questions? All righty. Well, we are at 12:47 according to my clock here, and I think it's on the computer, so it's probably tapped into someplace where it's probably accurate. So if there's no more questions, we'll sign off. I'll send you out an email with the descriptions of all the sessions that you can share with your leaders, whoever you think would benefit from it. I would love for anybody to come to this, not just leaders, because if they're interested in doing it, they're probably a future leader. So it's not closed to anybody. Thank you, Terry. Well, I love the starry eyes, the hard eyes. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're gonna do great. And please, you've got my email on, or I showed it on the slide. You'll see it when I send out the email with the information about the series. But please contact me and we can talk about whatever you need to talk about. I'm very happy to answer questions. And in fact, I talk too much. I love to answer questions. So, hit me up. And let's see, Terry, hit me up about renewing because that's an important thing to know how to do. So I know you'll figure it out, but why bother? I'll show you just how to do it. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. It's
Thank
wonderful
you.
here, and you're welcome. And we'll see you around real soon.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.